Howdy guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Today is going to be my monthly Get Ready With Me, even though it's a little late. But I got the Chipotle e.l.f. palette. It finally came today. I was worried that it would be late, but it's finally here. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to show you the palette, and I also got the makeup bag. I didn't get the, what was the other thing? Oh, I did not get the sponge because I don't use the little ones. I don't like those, so I just didn't bother getting that. And then I also didn't get the lip gloss because it's cinnamon scented, and I don't like cinnamon, so I just went ahead and got the palette and bag. So the palette, the palette looks like the Chipotle counter, which I thought was really cool. And I just looked on the inside for the first time. So here is the inside. And I did not notice that the names are not printed on the palette. So I might write them, which kind of makes sense because like at Chipotle, they don't have the names under it. You know, you kind of know what everything is. I'll try to do like my burrito order with this since it's all the vegan ones. But I don't think it would be useful for me to swatch this because you can't get it anyways, you know what I mean? Unless somebody is like reselling it, which I don't think. I think there was a limit on them if I'm not wrong. And I have not opened the bag yet, so let's look at that. Okay, so here is the bag. I couldn't tell if it had the clear vinyl on it from the pictures online, but it definitely does, which is good so it doesn't get stuff spilled on it. Like, how did they get... I guess that's to protect the material on the inside because it looks just like a cardboard, or not the cardboard, like the paper bags, you know? And on the inside, it's like the shiny insulated stuff. I don't think it would be like actually insulated though. Like if you put up, you can probably put a can of pop in here. I kind of want to know if that's actually paper and they just have it protected by that. It's all kind of encapsulated in the clear vinyl. So I'm a seamstress if you guys didn't know that, so I'm really interested in how they made this. This was really cool. I can see why it was so expensive compared to like other makeup bags. And it is a good size for the palette and even I think brushes. Like here's a random eyeshadow brush, so that would definitely fit. And I picked up a few other things from e.l.f. while I was on their site. So I got the 5mg CBD lip oil. I heard good things about this, so I wanted to try it because my lips are a disaster because of masks and not drinking enough water, so I need all the help I can get. And then the last thing I got was this Mint Melt brush set. I really liked their J. Kissa collection brushes, so hopefully these are kind of similar. They also kind of look like the, where is it at? Like these NYX brushes, how they're the white bristle, so maybe these will be good as well. So let's go ahead and get to the makeup. I want to use my new foundation. Maybe I'll do a separate video about the Makeup Revolution because I was going to do this video with the Makeup Revolution stuff that I just got from Ulta, so I'll probably just use normal stuff this time and then I'll do another one with the Makeup Revolution stuff because I don't really like trying out like a whole face of new stuff because I really don't know. Because if you try like all new base routine, for example, and something is not quite right, you don't know what it is. It's kind of the same way with skincare. Like you don't want to try an entire new skincare regimen because then if something like reacts or doesn't look good or you know what I mean, like is bad, then you don't know what it is because everything you've used is new. I'm going to use the e.l.f. CC cream because I really like it. Some new stuff with my business and then kind of sort of not update about my fiance and my computer. So, oh, and my ADHD. Oh, dang it. I waited too long between when I wetted the sponge and when I sat down, and then now it's kind of dry. I've been ranting about this on Instagram stories, but a couple weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago now, I edit my videos using a software called Filmora, and I paid for like, it was a one-time payment, which was nice because some of the free ones I didn't really like, and then I also didn't want to pay like a monthly subscription like you have to do for Premiere. So I went with Filmora and it works fine for what I do because I don't really do like that much complicated stuff. I just kind of like trim clips and cut out where I have long pauses and that's about it. Maybe some text every now and then. And my computer I have now is pretty old, not gonna lie. It's like, I think I got it in like I'm trying to think if I had this computer in college. I was out of college in 2014. I want to say it was at least 2014, maybe 2015. No, I feel like it was later than that because I'm trying to remember what I was doing in my life. I am the worst with remembering like times and when things happened. Was I in my apartment? No, I was not in my apartment yet. I got my apartment in like 2016, 2017. I don't remember, but it's been several years at least. If it's 2016, it's been several years. So computer's old, what I'm trying to say. Like the coloring or the top layer of the paint or whatever that's on the keyboard is coming off. And I got it because it was a gaming computer and I thought, well, gaming computer will be good for editing videos, surely. When I got it, the graphics card burnt, like just wouldn't work. Like I couldn't do anything, so I had to send it in to be repaired and that fixed the problem. Like when I first got it, like not even a few days afterwards. After that, it had been perfectly fine until a couple weeks ago. Well, I don't say perfectly fine. It kept kicking me off of Wi-Fi, and then my printer, which I use pretty much every day. I'm surprised that the printer has lasted as long as it has because it's so old and I only paid 20 bucks for it. But I have to connect to my printer's network. Like I can't just wireless print to it. It has its own like Wi-Fi signal and I have to connect to that. Well, sometimes the computer didn't want to switch back and forth between the Wi-Fis. And I would have to either restart the computer or like reset the Wi-Fi thing on it, which took forever. Then a couple weeks ago, I was trying to edit a video. I put the clip in the editing software and then it just completely froze. I couldn't exit out. I couldn't control alt delete, nothing, totally frozen. So I would just restart it. It would work, try it again, did the same thing. So that's why my uploads have been pretty sporadic because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I tried this fix online because, you know, if you Google like a computer problem you're having, usually like Microsoft or whatever will have like a tutorial telling you how to try to fix it. And I usually can go through those pretty well. Like I'm definitely not computer illiterate, but I'm not like, you know, genius at it. So I would go through those troubleshooting things and there was some kind of scan that it had me do on it that took like all night, literally, to have it go through and scan something on the computer. And I thought that had fixed it. Whatever that scan did. I'm tapping this setting powder, by the way, trying to get it out. But I went through that scan. I thought it fixed it, but now I'm thinking that it was a specific video file that was corrupted that my computer just didn't want to handle. I filmed a video about how to get more use out of your makeup, like how to repress things and how to take the stoppers out of like lip gloss. And I figured it out. It was only that video that was messing it up. So I would edit other videos and they were fine. Like I even downloaded a free editing software and that one messed up with that same file. But nothing popped up and said there was a problem with that file. So I thought it was okay. So I tried to edit other videos and sure enough, those are fine. So after I filmed this, I'm going to refilm that video and see if it'll work. Other videos that were on that memory card were fine. Because I also, like, on that memory card at the same exact time was my depotting, like the Z-potter video that I did. And then I also filmed some clips while the camera was pointed downwards. After I did the depotting video, I filmed some clips of, like, repressing a powder, and those would go in fine. So I really don't know why it was just that one file. I'm going to try this lip oil because the skin is peeling off my lips like a snake. Okay, this has an expiration date printed on the bottom of it, and I really appreciate that. Pretending like I can see what I'm doing. I don't believe I've ever had a lip oil before, but I like the texture of it. It's not like goopy. Like, I normally use the e.l.f. Ride or Die lip balms, and those are like kind of sticky, and this is nice. Definitely need a lip scrub though before I put lipstick on. The packaging said this is supposed to smell like vanilla. Yeah, with peppermint and vanilla, but like the peppermint kind of makes it smell like Thin Mints to me, which is not a problem. So the computer worked fine for everything else. Like I could go on Etsy and print my orders. I could watch videos on it. Like I could upload videos. It was perfectly fine except for that. So I'm thinking that it was just that one video, but I also don't want to chance it. Like if something happens to it, because I need it. Like I cannot do my job without, I mean I could probably borrow like, you know, my mom and rather have computers, and I could borrow them if I absolutely needed it, but I went ahead and bought a new one. So I had thought about, like, you know, saving up for one because I wanted one that was like a combo touchscreen. So I have a tablet. It's a Galaxy Tab. It's really old, it's really slow, and it won't do the fast charge thing, so it's just almost useless most of the time because it won't stay charged. I got it for free when I got my last phone, which side note, if you ever go get a new phone and they tell you that they'll give you like a free tablet or a free watch or whatever, it's not free. You have to pay, like, you have a contract with it that you have to pay per month, so I was paying like an extra $30 or $40 a month to have those, so it wasn't free. But I wanted a tablet or something that I could draw on because I like to design things, and I want to get into like trying to do digital art, maybe making like stickers, or I really wanted to make enamel pins, but I wasn't sure how to do that without having a tablet or something to draw on, because I despise Apple products, so I was not going to get an iPad to get Procreate. That just wasn't happening. And I think it would be useful as well to do like my thumbnails, and for my other shop I do printable planners and stuff, and it would be cool to be able to draw things on it. So I got one that had a lot of storage. I think I got like 2 terabytes on the hard drive, and then I needed more RAM to do videos, so I got 32 gigs of RAM. And I think mine now has 16. I could have gotten one with up to 64 gigs of RAM, which is a lot, but that's like $1,000 more like every time you go up. So I was like, I'll be fine with what I've got now. I got it through the Dell outlet because I saw that I was looking up to see if like Best Buy or even Amazon, which I don't Amazon, but I was looking up to see if anybody had like sales or anything going on, and I was looking up like the best one, like what configuration, and I went on Dell's website, or HP had one that I was interested in too, but to get what I wanted I would have had to like build, like customize my own, and every little thing you add is like hundreds of more dollars. But I saw that Dell had an outlet where they sold like refurbished or scratch and dent computers, which was ideal. Like, I'm not opposed to that at all. Most of the things, like most electronics that I have, are secondhand or like open box, that kind of stuff. This microphone that I use, I saved quite a bit on it because it was an open box. Basically, where probably somebody just ripped it open in the store and left it, and they couldn't sell it for the same. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was returned or anything. So with that, they also had it was discounted because it was refurbished, and they were having a sale. It was like 17% off or something. And then I have Rakuten, which if you don't have Rakuten already, I have a link in my description box. You need to get Rakuten if you shop online because it's basically free money. I got 2% back with Rakuten, which ended up being like 30 some dollars. And then my credit card has 2% cash back, so I got another 2%. Well, I will get that when I pay it off. So it ended up being like total taxes and everything about $1,600, which seems like a lot, but it was originally, if I would have bought it brand new, it was $2,200, so I saved quite a bit there. And that was also including the stylus pen, which apparently didn't come with it. It was like an extra $80. But also I'm getting the stimulus check, so that'll be like a huge chunk of it, and I can just pay the rest. My camera stopped recording, I don't know where it stopped, but I have paid off my debt already. I don't have any debt whatsoever, except for obviously now that's on my credit card, but I can pay it off with the stimulus check and with, you know, just money that I had saved because I knew I was going to need a new one eventually. And since I primarily use it for business, it's a tax deduction. My hair will not stay. I'm trying not to like do this hair tie really tight. So I think I can keep editing as I'm going for now until the computer comes in the mail. I just am kind of scared because sometimes I wait until the last minute and then realize that it's not working or it's taking longer or something. And then yesterday it was acting weird because I had to restart it, and it like looked like it was updating, but it didn't really do anything, and then it was stuck. Like, it went back and forth between 30% updated and 100%, like I wouldn't go from 30, 100, 30, 100, and I'm like, what in the heck is going on? So I'm thinking that it's on its last legs for sure. So I'm going to try not to miss any uploads from now on, but if I do, it's probably because the computer acted up again. I'm also not going to like get rid of it or anything right away because I know that like new computers, like new anything technology, I feel like usually if it breaks, it's going to be like right as soon as you get it. I'm trying to use up this setting spray, this e.l.f. Matte Magic. It's lasting forever, which is good, but also I'm trying to use it up. It's like I've been using it for months. It was like here and then now it's only down to here. Like what? Just be gone. Still drinking coffee at like 9:30 p.m. I'm actually filming way earlier than I usually do. I usually wait until like 2 or 3 a.m. when everybody else is asleep, but I wanted to go ahead and do this. Right before I started filming though, I had, let me get my brow stuff before I keep talking, but I had coffee and then gosh. Right before I started filming I had coffee and then I've been getting Oats Overnight subscription and I really like them, and they have one that's a chai latte kind of flavor and it has chai tea in it and has caffeine. So I had coffee and then one of those and I was zooming for a few minutes there. Coffee doesn't really wake me up. It just kind of like focuses me in a little bit. I guess that's a good segue into talking about ADHD. So I don't remember, I think I might have made one video talking about it, but I finally started the process to get like formally diagnosed with ADHD. I was managing it and well, wasn't really too aware of it when I had a day job, but now that I'm working for myself, it is exponentially harder to work for yourself, and because like everything is self-directed, literally no one is telling me what to do, so I've had to make my own schedule and have to make myself stick to my own schedule because there are no consequences, or no immediate consequences I should say, if I don't stick to my schedule. Like I'm not going to be fired if I show up late because who's going to fire me? Like the only really deadline I have is shipping orders on time. It actually has gotten to the point where I've been like almost late on some orders, so I'm like, yeah, I need to get this squashed right away. So I went to my family doctor and he knows me. I've been there for a while. I've been going there since we moved here, which was a long time ago. And he also sees my mom and my brother, who both are like actually diagnosed and take medication for ADHD. So he was like, so I walk in, I'm like, I think I have ADHD, and he's like, yeah, runs in the family, don't it? I mean, he didn't like say that I had it for sure. He has to refer me to a psychologist, which he did, and I forgot to make an appointment with the psychologist. But also the problem is I am on Medicaid now because I don't have a traditional job. I can't afford private health insurance. There's no way. Like, private health insurance would cost me more money than I make. I turned 25 last April and lost my parents' health insurance because I had thought that it was until you're 26, so I wasn't worried about it. Well, then I tried to go get my medicine in like 2 months after, when was that? Like June or something. And they were like, your insurance doesn't work anymore. I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know that it was 25. So I'm trying to find a therapist that takes Medicaid. That's another struggle entirely. Because there are, like, I know people, I have friends and just acquaintances, people that I know, like I've worked with before, that are on assistance like SNAP and like Medicaid and, or Obamacare was what we call it, but it's Medicaid. And while those programs exist, the care that you receive from those programs, not good. Okay, well, my brows actually turned out okay. They're a little bit thinner than usual, but, well, a little crooked. I'll try to fix that. But my doctor gave me a big list of places that I could go, like try and just call around and see if I could get an appointment. Well, at first, before I even called them, I looked up if they had it on their website, if they took Medicaid. And 2 of the like 5 or 6 people that he gave me took Medicaid, and the reviews on those places were absolutely terrible. Like, none of them had more than 2 stars. But the places that didn't take Medicaid were great. So, I mean, it wasn't stuff that was like, you know, I didn't like the paint color in the office or whatever. It was like they wouldn't speak to them like a human being. Like, they were rude in the office. Like, or they were dismissive of their condition. And I don't want to go to a place like that because it is so hard for women to get diagnosed with mental health problems. Like, I know a lot of people, or know of a lot of people, follow people online that are women and have like ADHD or autism, and they are never diagnosed correctly. So now that I know that, I can advocate for myself and be like, yeah, you're full of crap. I'm going somewhere else. But there's the place that my mom and my brother go is like a private place, and they're both like amazing therapists. So, which they would have to diagnose me with ADHD or whatever it is. It may not even be actually ADHD. I honestly wouldn't be surprised from like the research that I've done and people that I've seen that I have both ADHD and like autism spectrum, but they would have to diagnose me with that, but they can't prescribe medication. So I would have to just keep going back to I'm shaking this primer, but I would have to keep going back to my family doctor to get the medication, which is not that big of a deal because then those visits are covered by insurance. But the place that I want to go to is, I think the first appointment is like $175, and then every appointment after that is $140. So like if I have to take, it's going to take multiple appointments for them to like figure out what's wrong. So it's going to be a lot of money. But waiting for that primer to dry my eyes, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Chipotle Palette. Take this plastic off here. I took my nails off because we were supposed to go to my grandma's house to help her remodel or finish remodeling her kitchen, and so I took my nails off so I wouldn't break them. And then now I'm like, I wish I had them again. Okay, what is my Chipotle order? So I get white rice, black beans, and corn salsa, and guac and lettuce. Oh, I appreciate it. I love when palettes do this. So that would be this white shade, this dark shade here, the yellow, and these 2 greens. That's like my typical eyeshadow look. I think I'll do the matte green on the lower lash line, and then smoke out the brown eyeliner. What is this called? My lash line. So I'm going to take the lettuce shade. I was really stressed about going to my grandma's house because like they need us to help them because their house is in like shambles in the middle of being remodeled, but it needed it. Like they got their house in like the 70s, and they haven't been able to afford to like basically do anything to it. Stuff was just falling apart. The refrigerator was so old. This shade is fantastic. This is definitely a good formula. Kind of feels similar to their bite-sized shadow formula. But the reason that I was kind of freaking out about going to their house it would just be for a few days because I needed to help them paint, and then we can come back and finish the rest because they live like 3 hours away. But I'm about to launch a bunch of new items on my shop, and I've already like announced the date is going to be this coming Friday, maybe Saturday, depending on when I get it done. But I haven't had any of that done yet. Like, I haven't even made the stuff that I'm about to list, so I really need to do that. And then with, you know, not being able to do videos, I'm just like, blah. And not only the new stuff, but I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to get into a physical store with my products. If you saw my last video where I talked about my business, there was a lady that I met that was helping me with some stuff, and she has an in-person store. And she was like, hey, you should apply to be, like, have your products in my store. And I was like, oh. Because that would be a lot cheaper. Like, her fees would be a lot cheaper than wholesaling things. It's like, it would, like, they're kind of on consignment. Is basically, like, a little bit of a different, like, I would pay when the items sell. Or, like, at the end of the month, you know, like, the things that have sold, then, like, they give me my money minus the fee. Also, that's actually would cost me less than selling the items on Etsy, pretty much, because I wouldn't have to pay the Etsy fees, and also I wouldn't have to pay for packaging or for shipping. So that would definitely be ideal to be in physical stores, especially with that model, with like not with wholesaling but with the consignment. They do have wholesale clients as well, and I do 60/40 with them, which I still make money off of because I price my items intentionally like that to be able to still make money and wholesale. But it's not like that big of a difference to me because, like I said, I don't have the Etsy fees and I don't have to package them, and it actually takes me less time because I can send them a big box of stuff that they order instead of having to, like, if somebody buys it on Etsy, they might be buying just one thing at a time, and it takes me time to package and mail and everything, like those individual items. I'm kind of scared of this black beans shade. They actually nailed that shade. It does look like black beans. Like, it's not brown, but it's not. It's kind of like in between brown and gray. Am I covering up? I wasn't paying attention that whole time I was ranting about my business. Was I covering my face? I've not done makeup for the past couple days because partly because I was frustrated about my computer, but then also I've been trying to get ready for that. And about a year ago I had a ton of products because I was getting ready for craft shows, and then, well, not really a year, like 6 months ago, I was getting ready for craft shows and I had a ton of inventory built up, and I actually had separate like bins full of stuff that were just for craft shows, so I wouldn't have to deal with taking it off of Etsy when I went to a craft show. But now I've like sold through a lot of stuff, so I need to like remake and build my stock back up. So I'm trying to do that, especially because of like I'm getting more wholesale opportunities, or like more opportunities to be in stores, and I just want to have stuff like ready so that way I'm not scrambling to make it. Especially would help with Etsy orders because I could ship faster. If the stuff is already made, I can just grab it instead of having to make it. And then a little bit about my personal situation, like with my fiance and everything. So he's been given an assignment in the States, like in the contiguous US, I'm not going to say where, that we don't know for sure. Like that's just kind of, they're kind of giving, like they give them a head, what am I, a little, wow, okay, slow down. They give them a little heads up, like, hey, this is probably where you're going to go next. It's not set in stone, but it's likely that you're going to go there. But that's if he doesn't renew where he's at now. So he's going to see if he can renew where he's at now, which is in a different country that I'm also not going to say. But if he can renew in the country he's in now, then there's a good chance that I'll be going over there when I am able to, or when he's able to come back here so we can get married, because I can't go over there unless we're married. Okay, this is turning out okay so far. I'm kind of getting messy with it. I don't know. This is a good shade. It's not like overly pigmented, but it's also not patchy. And I can sometimes forget to put eyeshadow primer, like bring it out over in the side so it kind of looks patchy, but it's not. It's just because the primer is patchy. My main concern for a while has been my business, obviously, because that's my job, and it's not as easy as just quitting and then like getting another job when I get there. So there will be a lot of work and a lot of like paperwork and stuff to be able to run a business in another country, which is not ideal, but also I need to be prepared to do that if we're going to be married and we're going to be moving around a lot. So I'm going to try to make it work. Oh, there's an eyelash in my eyeball. What was I saying? Oh, I was going to try to make it work if I was to go over there, like figure out how to either like kick my butt into gear, sewing machine on overdrive, get stuff made up to, you know, like have here, and then if like one of the shops that I'm in or my wholesale people wanted some more stuff, that I can have my family pack it up. I was also kind of considering maybe having like an employee that could sew things, or at least I could ship things from here. I didn't really want to say this in my last video about my business, about like my 1-year business and maybe moving and all that stuff. The problem with moving your business overseas, especially like since my customer base already is in the States. This country is in Asia, by the way. I would lose a lot of customers. If not for the shipping prices, for the fact that the stuff would be like quote unquote made in insert name of the country. Even now, my shop bio, everything says that I'm in Kentucky in the States, people still ask me, like, is your stuff made in China? Because I don't want to buy anything made in China. Like, which I kind of understand where you're coming from now, especially with, like, the concentration camps that they have in China, which is another topic. But also, I feel like the whole not buying stuff made in China is deeply, deeply rooted in racism, which is not cool. Like, I really don't appreciate that, like, placing that on my business, like, stuff made in China is not dirty or, like, and it's not that they have a problem with the items being made, like, unethically. It's that they don't want Chinese people to make them. That's what it is. And just because something is made in the United States doesn't mean that the employees are paid a fair wage. And that's not even, I'm not even talking about, like, the minimum wage and, you know, that whole deal. Like, people are making less than minimum wage in the United States right now. And it's also not just disabled people that are making less than minimum wage right now. It is people that were, like, migrants that are exploited. Like, don't tell on us for paying you less than minimum wage and we won't deport you. So that's how they're getting away with it. I feel like you see that a lot more with farm workers than garment workers or whatever, which garment workers is another whole issue. If you're interested in that, like the fast fashion and all that stuff, check out Remake Our World. I'll try to link them below if I remember, but their Instagram account is really informative. Basically, during the pandemic, a lot of clothing companies in particular were not paying their employees, or not paying their the garment workers, like, for making this stuff. My wing, I'm gonna color it in with a with the gel liner, because this one is not really good for coloring in. I went off on a tangent there. I totally forgot what I was talking about. So I kind of did that wing. I messed up a little bit on this side, but I'm just gonna leave it. I've been liking doing this style of wing because, like, when my eyes open, I don't know what you're seeing right now, but when my eyes open, it looks like a wing, but when it's closed, it's the thing, you know. It's good for hooded eyes. But then if he doesn't extend where he's at, then he would come back to the States for a little bit, which would be nice. But I also, like, still want to go, like, live in another country, you know what I mean? Like, that would be really cool. It's just, like, not a great time, especially trying to keep the business. But also another thing too, even if I was able to, like, deal with the shipping and everything, it would cost so much money to ship all this stuff over there. For my supplies and my sewing machines. And it'd only be for a year. So, like, is it worth paying potentially hundreds of dollars? Like, I'll venture to say it might even be closer to $1,000 to move stuff over there, like, with all of my fabric, all my inventory, my machines, and because the army wouldn't pay for my move this time. Since we weren't married to begin with, they're not going to pay to get me over there. But, like, if we were to get married and then he moved somewhere else after that, then they would pay for it. But now they're not going to. I'm using the Lethal Cosmetics. Did I say that? The Lethal Cosmetics gel eyeliner in Redux. I have a white one too that I have not tested out. If he does end up just coming back to the States, that would be exponentially easier. I would just have to pack up a moving van and drive the stuff to wherever it's at. So, but for now with the business, I'm just going to keep going and grow it as big as I can. Because I feel like the more money that I make from it, the easier I think moving decision is going to be. Because, like, if I wasn't making that much from it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to just shut it down. Or, like, it would be an easier decision, I guess, to, like, shut down or whatever. Also, more money means I can potentially hire people to help, which would be amazing. I'm not at that level where I need help yet, though, but I want to be at that level. It's what's taking me so long with stuff now is my ADHD. Like, I can't do things. Okay, here's the eye look done. It's okay. I messed up on this side, but again, I'm not going to try to fix it because I am very hungry. I need to go eat. It's fine. I did try these new Milani Color Fetish lipsticks the other day. This was amazing. Like, it lasted through eating a burger and everything. Like, usually these shinier or more sheer lipsticks don't last very long, but this one was pretty good. But the other colors I don't think would match or even go with this look. So I'm going to use this Milani Keep It Full Max Plumping Lip Lacquer, the shade First Kiss, big applicator. Oh no, was this a bad idea? I just peeled the skin off of my lip and now I'm putting a lip plumper on. That was probably a bad idea. Yeah, I can feel it now. It's burning a little bit. It's not intolerable, but it's pretty strong. It's not as bad as the Too Faced lip injection though, so that's good. That stuff was awful. That was it. That was the Get Ready With Me. Probably all over the place because my blood sugar is dropping, but let me know if you guys have any other suggestions for videos or anything from the last haul video that I did that you want to see. Yeah, I have a few more videos planned that I'm going to film after I eat, and then that's about it. So click over here to watch my most recent video, or click over here to watch another one that I think you'll like. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss seeing my face in your subscription box every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Links to my social media, my business, my blog, and the products that I used today will be in the description box below, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Bye.